Okay, so we're going to make this cute hot pad, and on the back is the 100% cotton, where you could set your warm, very hot pots onto the back there. And then on the front is the decorative rabbit face and rabbit ears. So you can hang it up by the ears if you wanted for the decorative side, and when you're using it, you just put the warm stuff here, or if you're having a party, you just have this out for decorative. You can put your your cold bowls on top of here. Okay, you're going to need your N or 9mm crochet hook, and you're also going to need your tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. And the yarn, this is the yarn cone that I'm using, and this is 100% cotton yarn. And the 100% cotton yarn is the Lily Sugar and Cream. And here's a little bit more information on the 100% cotton yarn that I'm using. And the color is Potpourri Ombre. And you're also going to need a white colored yarn, and I'm just using the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo. And then also you're going to need a black colored yarn, and I'm also using the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, and that's for the eyes. And then for the nose and the cheeks, I'm just using Caron Simply Soft, and this is Watermelon. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is a magic circle, and I'm using my 100% cotton yarn first. And you're just going to drape it across your 4 fingers, and you stabilize it with your thumb, and then you're going to wrap it around your 2 middle fingers twice, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. And then you're just going to take your crochet hook and go under those 2 loops around the middle finger. You're going to bring up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot. And then you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So you're going to go into the magic circle, you're going to bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through both loops for 1 single crochet. Two, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're just going to take your forefinger and your thumb, and you're just going to hold the base of those 6 single crochet, and then you're going to see the 2 loops on the other side of the magic circle. You're going to pull on one of them to close. If it doesn't close, then you're going to let go and pull on the other loop, but this one's closing. So you're going to loosely close your magic circle, because we can always close it more later. And then just take the loose yarn end and pull on that to finish closing your magic circle. And now you're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch around your magic circle. So sometimes that first stitch is tough to get into, but you're going to get into both loops of that first stitch. You're going to bring up a loop, and then you're going to do 2 single crochet into that first stitch. You're going to yarn over and go through both loops for a single crochet. Going to go back in that same stitch and do another single crochet. So I have 2 single crochet in the same stitch. You're going to go ahead and do 2 single crochet into every stitch all the way around, back to the beginning for a total of 12 single crochet, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so your work should look like this. Go ahead and turn your work over, and you're going to pull on that loose yarn end to finish closing up your magic circle. You can see that closed it up nicely. And then you're going to get a yarn marker, because we're going to start our increase rounds. I just cut a little piece of my dark sage colored yarn so you can see it easier. But use any scrap of yarn and just put it right where you left off. And now we're going to do our increase rounds. So in the next stitch, the first stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet into both loops. So bring up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. And then in the second stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. 1, go back in the same stitch and do another single crochet. So you have 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, go ahead and move your yarn marker up to where you left off. And we're going to do another increase round. So now we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. 1, 2. And then go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so go ahead and take the yarn marker and move it up to where you left off, and we're going to do another increase round. So now in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet, second stitch, 1 single crochet, third stitch, 1 single crochet, and then in the fourth stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Okay, so if you notice that your work is poofing up a little, just kind of flatten it down. It'll flat down nicely. And then just take your yarn marker and move it up for another increase round. So in the first stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet, second stitch, 1 single crochet, third stitch, 1, fourth stitch, 1 single crochet, and then in the fifth stitch you're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Okay, so go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up for another increase round, and now we're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, 1 single crochet into the third, 1 single crochet into the fourth, and 1 single crochet into the fifth stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the sixth stitch. 1 and 2. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Okay, so your work should be looking like this. And we're going to go ahead and take the yarn marker and move it up to where we left off. And now you're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third, 1 single crochet in the fourth, 1 single crochet in the fifth, and 1 single crochet in the sixth stitch, and then 2 single crochet in the seventh stitch. 1 and 2. And then go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Okay, so we have 2 more increase rounds to do. So we're going to take our yarn marker and move it up to where we left off. And then you're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, 1 single crochet into the third stitch, 1 single crochet into the fourth, 1 single crochet into the fifth, 1 single crochet into the sixth, and 1 single crochet into the seventh, and then 2 single crochets into the eighth stitch. 1, 2. And then go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Okay, so now we're going to do our last increase round. Go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. And now in the first stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet. Second stitch, 1 single crochet. Third stitch, 1 single crochet. Fourth stitch, 1 single crochet. Fifth stitch, 1. Sixth stitch, 1 single crochet. Seventh stitch, 1 single crochet. Eighth stitch, 1 single crochet. In the ninth stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Okay, so this is how your work should look, and it should be laying flat, nice and flat. And now we're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So you're going to take your hook and go into the next stitch, and you're going to yarn over, and you're going to bring that yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to finish off, you're going to yarn over, and then just bring enough yarn to bury into your work. So now you're going to go ahead and make another one of these, and you're going to use your white yarn and make it exactly the same, and then come back. Okay, so you should have two completed, the 100% cotton and then your other white colored side. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just take your finished white colored yarn, and then on the back you can see this is considered the wrong side, and that's where your loose yarn end is. And you can just take your tapestry needle and you can go ahead and just bury the loose yarn end. And you don't need to cut it yet because we may use it to tie knots too, so you can just kind of leave it on the wrong side. And then go ahead and turn your work over, and we're going to be working on the right side. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is the nose, because that'll help you center and do the rest of the face. So we're going to start with the nose. Go ahead and get your tapestry needle with the watermelon colored yarn on it. Okay, so I have my tapestry needle with my watermelon colored yarn or pink yarn, and you're going to use the center of the magic circle to help guide you. And then I'm going down 1, 2, and I'm going to come up through straight down from the magic circle right here from the other side with my tapestry needle. And then you're just going to leave enough yarn on the back to tie your knot. And then you're going to go straight up, and then I'm going up 1, 2 from the center. And then I'm still using the middle of the magic circle to go across, and I'm going to follow this curve here. So I'm going to come up from the other side, and then I'm going to go up along the curve into the top. And then I'm going to go directly across and come up from the other side right here. And then I'm going to go back in through the top. And then I'm going to go down through the bottom again with my tapestry needle. Oops. And now I'm going to go back in through the side. And then I'm going to come back through the bottom again. And then I'm going to go into the other side. And then you're just going to completely cover in the nose. So I'm going to come back in through the bottom with my tapestry needle. And then I'm just going to keep going in and out until I've filled in the nose. And then your nose should be filled in completely like this, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so your nose should be all done. So now we're going to do the cheeks, and just going to go ahead and get your watermelon colored yarn or pink colored yarn, and we're going to do a magic circle. So you're going to drape the yarn right across your 4 fingers and use your thumb to stabilize, and then wrap it around your 2 middle fingers twice. Hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb, and then take your crochet hook and go under those 2 loops, and then just bring up a loop. And then you're going to yarn over, turn your hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot. And then you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So you're going to bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through both loops for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to take your forefinger and your thumb, just going to hold it at the base of those 6 single crochet, and then you're going to have these 2 loops on the other side of your magic circle. You're going to pull on one of them to close the magic circle. If it doesn't close, then let go and pull on the other one. And then take your loose yarn in and pull on that. And don't pull it too tight because we can always close it later and we have to get into that first stitch. So then you want to go into your first stitch. And this one's always a little tricky. Sometimes it might help to take your tapestry needle and just kind of edge up both loops. And then you need to go into both loops of that first stitch. And then we're going to do 2 single crochet into that first stitch. Yep, sometimes that bigger loop is hard to, let me come back out. The bigger hook, I mean, is sometimes harder to get in there. And then you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. Going back into the same stitch, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for 2 single crochet. And then we're going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch all the way around. The rest should be easy. That first stitch is the one that's a little difficult. So in the next stitch, you're going to do another single crochet, and then 1 more in the same stitch. Now I have a total of 4. Next stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2 for a total of 6. Next stitch, 1, 2 for a total of 8, and then 2 into the next stitch. 1, 2, and then 2 into the last stitch for a total of 12. 1, 2, and then you can see you still have a little opening in the center. If you do, then you can just turn your work over and pull on that loose yarn end, and then that closes up the magic circle. And that's going to be your cheek. So we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So you're going to yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch, and then you're going to finish off. Yarn over and just pull enough yarn to sew the cheek onto the rabbit face. Okay, then you have 1 cheek done. Go ahead and make another cheek, and then I'll show you how to sew them onto the face. Okay, so now you're going to position your cheeks onto the rabbit face so you can sew them on, and you can see that I have the cheeks pretty much in line here with the top of the nose, maybe a little bit slightly, if any, right above it. And then this top part of the head is flat, and then over here on the side you can see I have about 1 one stitch to the right cheek, and the same thing on this side. And then in between, I have 2 stitches on each side. So once you have your cheeks lined up, then you can sew them on. The first thing that I do is just take the shorter yarn end, just put that on your tapestry needle, and then you're just going to take and put that through to the other side. And then you take the yarn that you're going to use for sewing, put that on your tapestry needle, and then you're going to go in to the cheek itself, through to the back, and then just sew around. So go ahead and sew your cheeks on, and then come back, and then I'll show you how to do the eyes. Okay, so you have your cheeks sewn on, and on the back, don't worry, if you have little yarn ends here, you can see how I cut them a little bit loose so the knot doesn't come out, because this is going to be covered anyway on the back like this, so you don't have to worry about that. And now we're going to do the eyes, so go ahead and get your tapestry needle and your black yarn, and I'll show you how to sew the eyes on. Okay, so you should have your black yarn and your tapestry needle, and I'm going to start on the wrong side and come up through to the right side, and I'm going to start right above about mid cheek, about a stitch up, and then just bring the black yarn through and leave enough on the other side to tie a knot. And then you're going to go up with your yarn, and you can see how I went up to about 2 stitches, 2 rows here, and then I'm going to end up with the curve along the side of the nose. So I'm going to go across, skip this mid stitch, and go through here. So I'm going to go back up through, oops, from the other side, and then I'm going to cross back into where I went in, and then I'm going to go down on the other side and come through, and then go back up and you can see the little curve. And then I'm going to do that twice. Just going to create a little bit of a curve, and then I'm going to come down from the bottom here to make a double loop on this side as well. And then you have one side done, and now we're going to do the other side. So you can go ahead and tie a knot on the back, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, and then once you have your happy face on the bunny rabbit, now we're going to do the ears. Okay, so we're going to start with the 100% cotton yarn, and you're going to go ahead and do a slip knot first. And how I do that is I just kind of fold the yarn on itself to form a loop, and then I take my crochet hook and just go through the loop, and then hold it at the base with your middle finger and thumb, and then yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. And now we're going to go ahead and chain 20. So I'm going to chain 4 just to show you how to do it, but I want you to go ahead and complete 20 of them. So we're going to yarn over, go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and finish 20 and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should have a chain of 20, and now we're going to go on to the next row. So you're going to hold the last stitch that you did, and then you're going to chain 1. And now we're going to work in the second chain from the hook, which is the stitch that you're holding. So you're going to go with your hook into that second stitch from the hook. You're going to bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through both loops for a single crochet. And we're going to do a single crochet all the way back. So in the next stitch over, you're going to bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. So you're going to do a single crochet in every stitch all the way back to the beginning, and then come back, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so your work should look like this. And I just did my last single crochet on the end here, so I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to yarn over, and then bring the yarn through that loop for chain 1, and then turn your work over, and here you can see how the foundation stitch kind of slopes up for your first, where you did the chain 1. We're not going to work in this stitch, we're going to work in the first stitch over. So we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. So now you're going to do a single crochet into every stitch all the way back to the end, and you're going to do this for 5 rows. So this was, you did your first row, second row, this is your third row, so do a total of 5 rows and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so when you finished your 5th row, then you're going to go ahead and finish off. So you're going to yarn over and then just pull the yarn through the loop. Just enough yarn to sew into your work. Okay, so now you're going to make the same thing with the white yarn, except it's only going to be 4 rows. That way it'll be slightly smaller when you lay them on top of each other. So you're going to need 2 sets of each of these, and the white yarn is still a chain of 20, but it's only 4 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch, whereas this one was 5 rows. So go ahead and make another set of these and then come back and I'll show you how to make the ears. Okay, so now you should have your 2 sets completed for the rabbit ears. Now I'm going to show you how to sew them together. So go ahead and lay one of the white strips on top of the 100% cotton strip, and then take the 2 matching yarn end corner and then tie a knot, and that's the side we're going to start with our crochet hook. And then you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go into that first stitch on the white yarn and also the first stitch on the 100% cotton. So you should have both stitches on your crochet hook. And then you're going to take your 100% cotton yarn and you're going to hook it and bring it through both stitches, and then just leave enough yarn to tie a knot, and then you're going to chain 1. So go ahead and yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop on your hook for the first chain, and then turn your work over and then go ahead and tie a knot. Okay, and now into the first stitch, the next stitch over, you're going to go through both the white yarn and the 100% cotton yarn, both stitches, and you're going to do another single crochet, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet, and you're going to do a total of 4 in the 4. So we did 1 stitch here. This is our second. So in the 3rd stitch over, you're going to do another single crochet, and then in the 4th stitch another single crochet. And now we're going to do 8 half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for your second half double crochet. Okay, sorry about that. So now I have a total of 2. So you're going to do a total of 8. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'll let you finish doing the 8 half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, going to go into the next stitch over both sides, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. So go ahead and complete 8 stitches of half double crochet, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should have finished 8 half double crochet. So now we're going to do double crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and put a yarn marker. So you can grab any yarn marker you have or a scrap of yarn, just leave it right where you left off. And the reason I'm putting a yarn marker is because I want to know when I reach the same level to start half double crochets on the other side of the ear when we go around the corner. So go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2, and that's a double crochet. So you're going to do double crochets all the way to the end, and then I'll show you how to turn the corner around the ear. I'm going to do one more double crochet with you. Go ahead and yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So go ahead and finish doing double crochets all the way to the end, and then I'll show you how to turn the corner. Okay, so I've reached the end. I'm on the corner, so I'm going to do one more double crochet in the same stitch, yarn over, go in the same stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch across the top, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, and then you should be on the corner again. So in the corner stitches, and I'm going to go ahead and bury that yarn end too into the ear itself, and then bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2, yarn over, go in the same stitch, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. So as I turn the corner, I'm doing extra stitches in the same, extra double crochets in the same stitches. So now I'm going into the next stitch over, yarn over, go into the next stitch over, and I'm burying that yarn end inside the ear itself. Bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And now you can just start doing double crochets all the way down to where the same level as your yarn marker, and then you're going to do 8 half double crochets and then 4 single crochets, and then you're done with your rabbit ear. Okay, so you should have both of your ears completed, and now you're just going to take your tapestry needle and you're just going to bury all of your loose ends into the ear. So I just take my tapestry needle and just weave it through to kind of bury it into the ear. And then once you have them all buried, just take your scissors and then just cut the loose end. And then when you have that done, come back and then I'll show you how to sew the 2 pieces together. Okay, so now we're going to crochet the 2 parts together. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our tapestry needle, and on the wrong side of the 100% cotton, the side where the magic circle loose yarn end is, you're just going to take your tapestry needle and you're just going to weave in that loose yarn end. Just take your tapestry needle and just kind of weave it into the wrong side of the work, and that's just to keep it from coming out. It'll just make it more secure, and the more you bury it into your work, the more secure it is. And once you bury it, you can just cut a little bit of it, leave a little bit of a loose yarn end because it's just going to be on the inside of your work. And then you're going to take both wrong sides and you're going to put them together. So then you have the right side for the 100% cotton, and then you have the right side for the bunny. And then you're going to line up the edges. And then we're going to start in a corner. So you can pick any corner, and you're going to go into that corner, stitch with your crochet hook, and you're also going to go into the 100% cotton stitch. So you have both stitches on your crochet hook, and then you're going to take the 100% cotton yarn and you're going to hook it and bring it through both stitches, and make sure you leave a long enough end for tying your knot. And then you're going to chain one. So you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring it through that loop for one chain. And then you're going to turn your work over, and you're just going to tie a knot. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and chain 3. So you're going to yarn over, turn your hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2, and 3. And that's going to count as your first double crochet. So now you're going to go into the next stitch on the 100% cotton and do a double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to go into that next stitch on the 100% cotton yarn end, going into both loops of the stitch. You're going to bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2, and then you're going to yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go to the front bunny side, and you're going to grab the next stitch, both loops. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And that's how you're going to do your double crochets all the way around back to where you started. I'm going to do a couple more with you. We're going to do double crochets all the way around. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go on the next stitch on the 100% cotton yarn and bring up a loop. 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch on the bunny side. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So you're going to do that all the way around back to the beginning. I'm going to do one more. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and yarn over and go on the next stitch on the 100% cotton yarn, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. Then yarn over, and then you're going to come forward on the next stitch on the bunny side. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so you should be back around, and you're going to do a slip stitch now into the top stitch of that first double crochet. You're just going to yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook, and then you're going to finish off. You're going to yarn over and just pull enough yarn to bury into the work. Okay, and then now you're going to get your ears. You can go ahead and bury your loose yarn ends too. I only have a couple, but you can go ahead and bury your loose yarn ends. And then we're going to get the cotton yarn onto your tapestry needle, and then we're going to sew the ears on the rabbit. Okay, so you're going to place your bunny ears, and you can see how there's the top edge here on the bunny, and then each of the corners. The bunny ear is going to lay on the corners like this. And then we're going to fold down the ear to sew along the back edge here. So we're going to sew one ear on first. So just place it on one of the corners, and then you're going to start from the back with your tapestry needle, and just leave enough in the back for tying your knot. And then you're just going to sew in and out. And you can just go a couple of times across the ear and make sure that it's secure, and then come back. Okay, and then once the ear has been sewn on well, you're going to take and fold the ear down and line up the stitches here with just a little of the white showing there, and then go ahead and turn the work over. And then you're going to take and weave the yarn up to the corner of the ear. And then you're going to take and fold the two ends together like this, because you're going to take your yarn and then you're just going to go into the superficial stitch on the potholder and on the ear. And then you're just going to sew those together. So just go ahead and sew that all the way down to the end, and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, and then once you've sewn the ear to the potholder side, then you're just going to tie a knot. And then once you have a nice knot, then you're just going to weave the tapestry needle through, and then just bring the yarn, just weave it through. Actually, I'm going to weave it through the body of the potholder. Just go through the body of the potholder. And then go back to the other loose yarn end. Make sure that your ear is lying flat and it's sewn on nicely. And then you can take the other 2 yarn ends and tie a knot in that, and that'll just make sure that it stays nice and secure. And then go ahead and bury these 2 yarn ends and then sew the other ear on the same way, and then come back and we'll see the finished product. Okay, and then now you have your hot pad all completed. It's the decorative side, and then you have the side that you can set the 100% cotton that you can set your hot pots on.